Commercial sex work has experienced a boost in recent times in Ghana, with various streets littered with a bevy of women looking to make their biggest sales in exchange for their bodies. While some women willingly venture into this trade, most of them have had very sad stories to tell as to why they ended up in this business, with high rates of unemployment and poverty in Ghana believed to be major causes. What many don't know is that prostitution is indeed a criminal act, which attracts criminal penalty as per the criminal books of the country. Section 76 of the Code, as amended by Section 14 of Act 554, provides that any person who persistently solicits or importunes in any public place or in sight of any public place for the purpose of prostitution shall be liable for a first offense to a fine not exceeding 500 Ghana cedis, and for a second or subsequent offenses shall be guilty of misdemeanor. Section 275 also provides that any person who in any public place or in sight of any public place persistently solicits or importunes to obtain clients for any prostitute or for any other immoral purpose shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. Despite the laws, one ACP Winfred Frimpong confirmed that the numbers of prostitutes kept increasing despite arrests by the police. She stated that within the year, several arrests had been made, with prostitutes being fined various amounts of money. But sadly, they appeared on the streets the next day, with many wondering if the fines were not punishment enough to deter them from the trade. On the 28th of November 2017, the Cantonment Police arrested 23 suspected prostitutes who have allegedly been harassing diplomats living in the area with sex. They purposely take stands along the busy streets of the Italian Embassy, Osu Oxford Street, Togo Embassy, Dankwa Circle, and the Akufo-Addo intersection, with age ranging from as low as 12 years to as high as 50 years. Notable, however, is the fact that most of these prostitutes in Ghana encourage the use of condoms, thereby preventing to a certain extent HIV and other STDs. But the question is, can this menace ever be kept? Has governments done enough to control the menace? Would we ever be able to get these women, or in some cases girls, off the streets? You're watching the Late Afternoon Show. And that was just a brief documentary on our topic of discussion for today. If you have anything to say, you can join us via social media at GH1TV on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The hashtag, remember, is the Late Afternoon Show. Now it's time to meet my guest. And so I'm contemplating whether to introduce one of the most popular men on the panel today, or you know what, I'll start off with my doctor. She's young, but you know, very experienced when it comes to the medical field, and she goes by the name Dr. Hannah-Lisa Tete. Sweetheart, thank you for joining me. It's a Ghana thing today, you know, so we can switch to Ghana and make it fun small.
I know.
Also, I have Jay Foley, and interestingly, Jay Foley has you know, a story to tell concerning this topic especially. And so, thank you for joining us, Jay Foley.
Well, thank you.
What do you want? Open juice, and now open
coffee.
Hey, relax, I beg you. And then we have Petra Smith, and also someone who's not new to the show. Actually, if you were watching the promo, you'd realize that she was the one checking Crystal to see if there were any lumps in her boobs. Petra, thank you for joining me as well. And last but not the least, the man who probably caused a lot of controversy on the show today, Councillor Lucius.
Yeah.
Welcome back from America.
Thank you very much.
You're looking fly, by the way.
Fly?
Yeah.
Don't tell me I hear.
No, I'm not saying you are nice. You get fly, like looking nice. So how did you manage in America? That BJ Pemo, not witchcraft.
Can you
look very handsome.
Now.
Always. If you don't think so, let us know. Anyway, let's get straight into our conversation. I mean, the documentary started playing, and Councillor Lucius was already commenting on what the law had to say and whether it was really that, you know, whether the law was really working. And so you were saying that what? It's
the law cannot work on prostitutes.
What do you mean by the law?
Because if you go to court, you need to prove.
What do you need to prove?
If you find a prostitute, what can you use to prove that they are prostitutes?
Okay.
Is it the act? Is it a venue? Is it the dressing? Because if so, then most of you are prostitutes because if they're dressing. So most of you dress like that. Then everyone is the first prostitute in Ghana.
Why would you attach, you know, the way
I'm telling you some of the things. No, because that's one of the things.
That's what they...
They arrest you because of the way you look, where you're standing, and what it is.
Yeah.
And if you watch movies carefully, if today Jay Foley wants to be a doctor in a movie, then when you see the white lab coat and a stethoscope,
then
he's a doctor.
Yes.
Is that not it?
Yes.
The same way if you want Bella to play the prostitution role, they have a clothing that defines. So never make a mistake to think that your outlook cannot define your content.
Okay.
So there's a way you dress that you are a prostitute. And we that were young, when we're young, we have something we call Ashawoo. The symbol of prostitution was anklet on the feet.
That was then.
Till today.
Not anymore.
No,
yes.
till today.
I don't agree with that.
Well, because you are young. Back over.
No, I'm not young.
No, let me explain to you. No, the agreement is not the reason why I'm here.
Yeah, we know.
And
but we still don't agree.
If any of them agree with me, I'll be very sad. Because I came alone as George Lutrot. I'm saying that for us, the symbol of Mokoni Ashawoo, that we don't call you G anklet. So when you do it, Niko Shingan, no teta flache anago, alo te Ivory Coast, no afi Ashawoo, no look about Ashawoo anklet.
Okay.
So we have symbols that defines, and the law makes it clear for you that when you arrest somebody before you prosecute a person, have a proof.
Yeah.
So when you arrest a prostitute, I have met prostitutes in my office who want to stop the game, and they tell me the story. Some of them, which is alleged, that the police will arrest them, and some of them, whatever ends they have made, before the procedure will end, the money is no more in their bag.
Yeah.
Who do you ask?
Okay.
Some to give the money so they are free. Some to have been arrested wrongly because they were just passing by. Just that the way they have dressed, makes them prostitutes. So for the law, from where I sit, I don't know how the law can arrest prostitutes. So the noise I hear, 400 prostitutes have been arrested here, they have been arrested here. I know it's a good.
What about the point if they confess
that I'm
to
a
the
prostitute?
They are prostitutes. Then
that I'm
way,
engaged in commercial sex?
Good.
So isn't that basis enough for an arrest to be made?
Well, I mean, one of the honest people that you can believe can confess I'm engaged is Fakadi on social media.
Okay.
She's confessing. Is that not it?
Has she confessed
But
to you?
if you go to where they send you the link and you watch a link, the request, it's clear. If you want this, send this. If you want this, send this. I mean, and in China, it is clearly like that. You can, what she does, and what I want is there, come on, and when you click, they will come. Just like you paid before. That's why prostitution is different from Ashawoo.
Wait, you're confusing me. Wait, let's understand what prostitution is. I googled just to get the definition, and based on Google, it's a practice or occupation of engaging in sexual activity with someone for payment. I don't know if you all agree to this definition.
The payment is not always in monetary terms. Sometimes it's goods, sometimes it's services, and any other thing agreed upon by the people, so they can decide that, okay, I'm going to give you sex, so give me shoes, and that's even fine according to them.
Okay.
And some of them see it as
Brazilian
a form. Yes, that's.
You had to touch on that, right?
once that's the agreement, fine. So it's seen as like a form of work for them.
Okay.
So it's not. I don't so much agree with Counselor with the dressing issue, because now people, they are escorts. They can dress in decent ways, but then they are saying, this is what I'm doing. I'm giving you sex for you to give me maybe this vase or flowers, and that's the work that they're doing.
Yeah, but they're also prostitutes. I mean, for me, I even believe that if you're not even married at all, you're having sex, you're a prostitute.
Counselor, no, I don't agree.
I
don't agree.
No, it's and now they see it as an industry.
To agree with me.
I know, but
now they see it as an industry, like the sex industry, like pornography. They see it as an industry.
Okay.
So it's not.
What industry?
No, but
The sex industry.
Prostitution is the world's oldest career.
And
so
cannot be broken by anybody.
No, not
so
at all.
If you're having sex and you're not married, for me, I say it's prostitution.
Okay.
That's me, George.
No, it depends if you are getting it.
They pay transport
it's an
for
exchange for a service.
Uber.
Then it becomes prostitution.
No, they finish and they give you Uber.
I don't think it's prostitution.
That was just the agreement.
Are you a giving person? After sex, I call Uber.
No, that's not the agreement for it.
Yeah, we didn't sit down and say after we are giving me money.
Prostitution, there are actual charges for the things, and there are actual charges for different acts.
So
there are certain acts that are even more expensive.
I think a car, when you come, I will pay.
I don't think.
No, but you can ask your friend to do that for you.
The gray area here is that I think that for a lady to engage in sex, and there are terms and conditions to the sex.
And there are charges as well.
Well, so that those are
terms and
conditions. Then, so even if it boils down to a simple request for Uber, then you are actually involved in prostitution.
That's if you agree.
Yes, so it must be
There are times
agreed.
we don't agree. We agree after the act.
I don't tend that.
No, you've not patronized a prostitute before.
Have
you?
You
don't even know them.
Have you?
I wish.
Have you patronized one before?
I haven't patronized a prostitute services before, but I have actually had a detailed discussion. It was for research we had back in KNUST.
Okay.
Research we had, and I do recall I was telling you earlier on in at Foxtrap nightclub, where we deliberately went to engage not the services but to have a discussion on what actually led her into prostitution. And the stories are quite crazy. This is a lady who lives in Accra, and she's perfectly okay. She's Ghanaian. She has no problem at home. Has mother, father. She moved to Kumasi briefly to visit a couple of friends, and they lured her into the business. And after engaging in 1, 2, 3, and then she felt like this works.
The easiest business.
The easiest business.
That's right, yes.
You know, it's at that point where the person's moral values have been broken and certain things have been allowed, that it is very, very okay for me to actually allow a man.
Usually, it's not the moral values that is broken. She just discovered the most exciting moment of womanhood.
No, wait, Kasa, what are you trying to say?
No. Is that
he said you just broke your moral value, but you just discovered the most exciting thing that can
well, society has always done.
It's the only time a man speaks what he doesn't know.
But Counselor, sometimes speaking to some of them,
that's what you're paying for.
Sometimes speaking to some of them, you realize that it's either through human beings or through situations, the things that lead to prostitution. So you can see that maybe somebody had let's say an ex-boyfriend who made her believe that all she was worth was good enough for sex. So she believes that there's nothing else to her apart from that. Or one has been in very terrible relationships, and every one of them makes her believe that all she's worth is sex. You'd realize that these two categories of people have a very low self-esteem. They feel like there's nothing more to them than sex. Yes. Then
I don't believe that any prostitute has
let her land. Okay, let her land.
Then there are some people who have had a very bad childhood experience, maybe parental neglect or abuse. It also leads them, when they get all the attention from men, they believe that, oh, I never knew that somebody could appreciate me for something. So it doesn't matter what, it's low self-worth. It doesn't matter what they are being appreciated for. Once they are being appreciated, some of them also have friends. Their friends make them feel, oh, it's nice to be a prostitute. You get a lot of money. These are the,
which is true.
These are the parts they tell them
which
about.
Is true.
It's true. They tell them about these parts, but they don't tell them the dangers involved as well.
But I think I side at a point I side with Councillor rolling back to the conversation on in fact what classifies a woman as a prostitute, or a man or a woman as a prostitute. Because you might have a, let's start from female, because it's more predominant in the female
they are good at doing it, actually.
Not necessarily that.
Councillor, can you not hate on the women like that?
They are prostitutes. Men are
no.
So for instance, what happens to a woman who is engaged, and when I say engaged in certain affairs, in intimate affairs with, let's say, 3 or 4 men, whom there is no term or condition of the relationship. It's just that I'm with you, and I'm with you. And both of you, or all three of you, offer me a lot of things in exchange. Does that make me a prostitute?
No, I think that the prostitutes say that this is an industry in which you are exchanging sex for certain terms and conditions. So they see it as they want to be called working girls or business girls. So they see it as this is the job they are doing.
They want who to call
if somebody, that's what they go by. So if you're with 4 men, if you're with 4 men, that is your lifestyle. It is not a working industry that you have decided to be in. So you can be classified as having the lifestyle of a prostitute, but not a prostitute.
Pearl, let me ask Pearl.
Yes, that's what
Pearl hasn't talked much. Because I don't know if you agree with that. It was something I was going to ask, because I put down a few things. I said that it doesn't mean that the ones on the streets are the only ones, are the only ones to be called prostitutes. Or young girls sleeping around for cars, phones, houses, and all that. Are they called prostitutes? So that's what I was going to ask you. That because there's a lot of talk. I mean, right now we have the slay queens. They're on social media, flying private jets, getting a new car every minute, and they're literally escorts. We'll come to what the differences are between escorts and prostitutes. But what do you think about these girls who sleep around? She says it's a lifestyle.
I kind of agree with her, because those on the street, you don't know who is coming after who. I find it very, I don't know, I'm very picky with who I share my stuff with.
Okay.
Your spoon, your fork, and you're standing somewhere, you have no idea who's going to come next. There's this taxi driver, personal hygiene, and you don't seem to care. As long as the person has money to give to you, then you're okay with it. I'd rather you have like 10 boyfriends or 10 men you're regular with. I think it's funny.
Do you not term that prostitution too?
It's like having the lifestyle of a
prostitute. Like she said, if there's a difference between the lifestyle and then the
I mean, if somebody calls you a prostitute, they don't. I mean, you can't fault nothing to it. I think if you live that kind of life and somebody calls you a prostitute, you can't fault them. But
can we actually define who a commercial sex worker is?
Yes,
because that's what actually
somebody who gets up and says that I'm going to stand by the streets. And any guy who's coming, Councillor Luchot comes, if he's ready for sex, I tell him these are my terms and my conditions. Is he willing? Fine. Jay Foley comes, anybody can come. But then there are certain girls who are out there targeting very rich guys because they know, bear in mind that so many people go into relationships for different reasons. You don't even know if the girlfriend you have is in the relationship before.
Yes.
Okay, you define them, we'll go on break.
You see, I was telling people that you are all talking about prostitutes. In Ghana, we don't have prostitutes in Ghana.
What do we have?
Ashawoo.
What's the difference?
Let me school you. Let me school you now. You see,
we're listening.
The problem is that when you meet a prostitute, they have rates. So it's like going into a supermarket. The prices are there. You don't ask for tesumami. No reduction. So we have enterprise and we have supermarkets. When we started our own, where the word 2 came from, it was 2 shillings. In the olden days, they only take 2 shillings. Maybe most of you were born, or you are yet to have a relationship by your parents were born. You know. So 2 shillings brought the word 2.
Okay.
So 2 BMba. It means they just take 2 and then they go for. That's the word 2. That's where it started from. Now, out of that, then we begin to have Ashawoo. Okay. Ashami.
Ashami, as in the way.
So Ashami, because of the hours. Yes. Okay. Ashami.
Okay.
Ashami. Now, from that word, it means that you have the right not to have 10 cities before we move, but as we go, your performance determines your rate. So, the Ashawoo and the prostitution is that you have prostitutes who have rate card, like you want to call them business people, workers. So it's a supermarket. You fix the price there, you go the price you pay. But the enterprise is the Ashawoo people that you meet them. That when you are on and you think it's exciting, you top up 5 cities. So you enter and price. So Ashawoo,
not the same.
It's not. You can't buy something from enterprise and say you bought it from supermarket. Because enter and price. You enter and then you price.
I think you're just
in Ghana, no, I'm telling you, in Ghana, check the records. How many prostitutes do you have? All the girls on the street, they are all practicing Ashawoo. And unfortunately, prostitution is a profession that must be done by people who are beautiful.
And there are lots of beautiful.
No, go to media pharmacy.
Hey.
It's legal.
Okay.
I went there personally. I told some of them they should go home because they are disgracing the profession.
Why?
Look, I respect that profession so much, but if you don't have the
respect prostitution.
My God.
Hold on to that. We'll ask more. I mean, I don't understand why council